How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Leg Slapper for all things professional wrestling. And today I have the Monday Night Raw review ready for you. So why bother waiting? Let's get right into things. And the show actually opened with John Cena and Cody Rhodes once again. Even before John came out, the "Let's Go Cena, Cena Sucks" chants were already occurring. And once he finally made it to the ring, and once he was finally ready to talk, who would interrupt him but Cody Rhodes? And I have to say, Cody was rocking one of the sickest suits I've ever seen. And at the same time, just watching John Cena as Cody Rhodes was entering was so, throughout the promo, if you watch how John Cena is reacting to what Cody Rhodes is doing, oh, chef's kiss, beautiful. Instead of John Cena being the one to speak first, it's actually Cody Rhodes saying that, well, if John Cena won't do it, he's here to do Cena's job for him. This entire promo was insane. This was one of the best promo segments of the entire year, let alone, and I mean from previous WrestleMania to now. This was one of the most gripping and best promo segments I've seen in a very long time, and I can't even think of something that comes close to how good it was. And throughout this promo segment, we actually got to see a lot of fire from Cody. We got to see Cody actually firing back at John Cena for the first time, and this was their first, potentially only, real mic battle that they had. While people were afraid that John Cena would absolutely cook Cody Rhodes on the mic, it turns out that really didn't happen. In fact, John Cena literally told Cody Rhodes he was going to bury him just like he did the crowd, and I don't think he did. Fans are always going to have their different opinions, and I think it's fair. There are reasons to say John Cena definitely won the promo battle, but I think there's just as many reasons to say Cody Rhodes actually won that promo battle. And I don't think that's a hot take either. You know, we had Cody trying to bring up all the things Cena might target, like Stardust, like his lisp, any of those kinds of things. He was trying to get them all out before Cena could do it. But Cena didn't go that route. Instead, he actually made fun of Cody for being his chauffeur and essentially saying that he's not a real champion. He's nothing but a stolen blueprint for greatness who actually can't execute on Cena's level of greatness. And I love that one line that Cody's ego outmatches his ability, because any detractors of Cody will immediately agree with that, but fans, obviously, they're not going to agree. But like I said, this promo, it was incredible. I highly suggest you go and watch it. It is something that needs to be experienced. I guarantee this is another heel John Cena moment, and I guarantee you this will be one of those promo battles that does go down in history because, oh my God, I think everybody was locked in on this one. Seriously, we had Vince McMahon references from Cody Rhodes. We had AEW references from John Cena. The whole thing was everything that wrestling fans wanted, and this was exactly what I wanted. It was the exact thing I said that the Cody and Cena feud needs. We needed to see them interact, and we actually even got to see the segment ending with Cody Rhodes delivering a crossroads to John Cena and absolutely leaving him laid out. Now look, I'm excited for this match. You're excited for this match. We know that this is the final match of WrestleMania, as stated by Cody Rhodes. This match is going to be a big deal. The only caveat here is that apparently John Cena hasn't actually been advertised for any more WWE shows until WrestleMania. Will that actually happen? I don't know. I won't be surprised if we actually do get a John Cena moment similar to what The Rock did to Cody Rhodes last year. It wouldn't make sense if John Cena doesn't show up to beat up Cody Rhodes at some point before the match. Incredible segment. Please go and watch it if you haven't already. And if you have watched it, go do it again. I've watched it 3 times at this point, and it is still excellent. But after that, New Day, of course, came out to ruin everybody's day, because that's what the New Day is all about currently. And their tag team opponents were none other than Pete Dunne and the returning Tyler Bate. And while it was great to see Tyler Bate back, and it was really good to see Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne have a fun tag team match and put up a lot of fight, I gotta say, the match was just fine. It was a fun match, but at the end of the day, it really didn't do a lot for the New Day for me. I understand the point of having the New Day get a heel victory over a returning babyface in his home country. That definitely does make sense. I'm just saying I would like to see the New Day do something, and it seems like we're actually going to get them going up against the War Raiders sometime soon in the near future, at least, because the War Raiders did end up coming out after the match to confront the New Day and be like, hey, yeah, you guys may be winning, you guys may be a big deal, but we are still the tag team champions. Following that, we went backstage for a quick little segment between Jimmy and Jey Uso. Jimmy basically says he's gonna beat Gunther, and so is Jey at WrestleMania. So basically, what that should have told all of us was that I was right, and that Jimmy Uso was about to be sacrificed to Gunther. And of course, to end the segment, Jey actually ends up telling Jimmy to please be careful which of course was yet more foreshadowing to Jimmy's ultimate fate. Of course, we went right into that match next, Gunther coming out, and oh my god, does Gunther look like a bad man when he comes out. Seriously, he looks like he would kick you in the face and then laugh at you, and that is exactly what we need from Gunther. Like, the guy let out a massive big boot against Jimmy, and it was excellent. And then when he climbed to the top rope, I have to say, there's few things more terrifying than seeing a guy like Gunther on the top rope, because oh my god, I don't ever want to be laying on the ground and seeing a guy like Gunther ready to pounce on me. That is a scary image. But there was an interesting theme of this match, and it was brutality. Gunther absolutely brutalized Jimmy Uso throughout this match. And the beauty of it was that they didn't make Jimmy look like a complete chump. Jimmy actually got a lot of offense early on, but he did well, and he actually looked like he could challenge Gunther. It actually looked like at one point Jimmy was going to beat Gunther, but Gunther just thought, nah, forget that. I'm gonna go ahead and destroy Jimmy Uso. And destroy Jimmy Uso, he did. Now, of course, Gunther ended up winning the match, and after the match, Jey Uso came to make the save for Jimmy, but that didn't go so well. He was able to chase off Gunther, which is great, but the problem is Gunther did a little circle, came back, got both of them, and then zip-tied Jey to the ring, and then continued to beat down Jimmy in the most brutal fashion possible, directly in front of his twin brother. And at one point, Jimmy even tries to climb back into the ring, and he is covered in blood. Now, I couldn't actually tell if it was real blood or if it was kind of that weird prop blood that they use sometimes. Maybe Jimmy bladed for real. The point is, whatever they did, it looked great. Jimmy looked like he had been decimated, and Jey looked like he was livid. Jey looked like he was horrified for his brother. And it's this exact segment. This is the exact segment that I called for in a video on my channel. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out, because I literally called this segment before it happened. It was perfect. It was exactly what the Jey Uso build needed. And now I'm invested. Now I want to see Jey Uso kick Gunther's ass. Now I want to see Jey Uso every single week come out here and actually take the fight to Gunther. So yeah, great job from everybody, and let's keep this fire moving right into WrestleMania 41. And if you haven't done so already, I'd just like to take a second to say, hey, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, go ahead and leave a comment down there. Tell me who you thought won the promo battle between John Cena and Cody Rhodes, and let me know if now you're actually excited for the Jey Uso Gunther build. I have a very ambitious goal of getting to 100 subscribers before WrestleMania 41, and I'd love it if you'd come along on this journey with me, because I'm having so much fun. But let's get back to the video. Up next, we got a Judgment Day segment. And it seems like Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio are doing better, for now at least, which, considering, you know, it's wrestling, it's WWE, they're doing better now after having a lot of trouble, which means we're basically at an imminent point right before their split. At this point, I won't be surprised if we do get Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio both in the Intercontinental Championship match at WrestleMania 41. But I still also wouldn't be mad about a grudge match. Essentially, this segment had Finn saying, no, we're not having new members, and it had Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez teasing a future potential Women's Tag Team Championship match against Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Following that segment, we got right into the matches, with Penta coming out and looking awesome as always. The cool fire entrance is probably never gonna get old. The guy looks like $1 million, and the guy actually looks like a bona fide star. He was teaming with Intercontinental Champion Braun Breaker against Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. And as you might expect, shenanigans did in fact occur. It was another match that was mostly just fine. It was a relatively shorter match, and both teams seemed like they actually had a lot of fun, but eventually the shenanigans had to occur. So we had Dominic Mysterio holding on to Penta while Finn Balor was in the ring in front of him. The spot was a little awkward with the way that it was all laid out. Like, it kind of did look like Braun Breaker just speared Penta on purpose, and it didn't really look like it was an accident. But maybe they'll actually play into that, and I kind of hope they do, for how blatantly obvious it was that Penta was directly behind Finn. We have chaos, and maybe we're headed into a clearer Intercontinental Championship picture moving into WrestleMania 41. Up next, we got a fun segment with Chad Gable all about El Grande Americano, and oh my god, is it so much fun. The fact that Chad Gable is trying to say, no, I'm still sick, his legit doctor's note, and then Adam Pearce is saying, oh, well, you know what, Raw's in your hometown next week, so it kind of sucks. Trying to get out of it, but of course, El Grande Americano will be in action next week, and I cannot wait. Following that, we actually got who are now, I guess, the Alpha Babes that came out to talk about potentially getting a Tag Team Championship match for Otis and Akira Tozawa, which was interesting. We're back out to the ring next for a segment between AJ Styles and Logan Paul, and the match that many had been predicting is actually here now. We officially have AJ Styles going up against Logan Paul at WrestleMania 41. And I have to say, this was a bit of a rough segment from both guys. The crowd really took control of the moment, especially from Logan Paul. And it even seemed like AJ Styles was struggling a bit to maintain the crowd and get through the segment. But essentially, Styles is the guy that's for the fans. Logan Paul was calling everybody poor. And what happens when a bad guy calls fans poor? Well, the babyface and the bad guy have to fight. So of course, they end up brawling. And believe it or not, Logan Paul actually got one up on AJ Styles tonight and hit his crazy little finisher, I believe called the Pulverizer. Really not a fan of that name at all. It's kind of an off-putting name, but the move itself is excellent. Now, the problem with the move is that Logan Paul is only going to be able to hit it on very specific people, but it's great, and AJ Styles can clearly take it in a very cool way. So I'm actually pretty psyched for this match. We did also get a brief interview with Lyra Valkyria, and it wasn't really much. It actually seems like they're using various segments of Raw to give Lyra Valkyria some protected time to speak and actually practice talking on the microphone, because she clearly isn't as well versed as some other members of the roster are. As long as she's able to improve, I don't care. I like Lyra in the ring, so I'm willing to deal with less than stellar promo work. Essentially, she has an interview, she thanks Bayley for being her friend, but basically says, you know what, Bayley, you beat me, and now I gotta beat you again. So I guess we're having a match between them two for the Intercontinental Championship potentially next week on Raw. And finally, we get to the Women's World Championship match between champion Io Sky and Rhea Ripley, with Bianca Belair as the special guest referee. And as we all know, absolutely nothing goes wrong when we have a WWE superstar getting into the ring as a referee, right? Of course not. Everything went wrong after an excellent match. Even from her entrance, I think we all have to agree, Io Sky is so much fun. She is so good. She deserves that championship. And even though there were some hiccups throughout the match, I thought her and Rhea actually did a great job of trying to bring a lot of creativity to their match. As far as I'm concerned, Io Sky is one of the most sympathetic babyfaces on the Raw roster right now. But back to the match, essentially our shenanigans begin when Rhea kicks Bianca out of the ring, goes for a pin on Io Sky, and of course, there's no one there to count the pin. So now Rhea has beef with Bianca. But there's chaos everywhere. Bianca decides, you know what, screw this, I'm done with this. It's a double disqualification. No one wins. We're just going to call it a double DQ and that's it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. They actually end up all beating the crap out of each other. And surprisingly, Bianca got a lot of heat from the crowd, which was actually really interesting to see. And it actually makes me feel more that maybe Jade Cargill actually should be moved into this match to make it a fatal four-way so that we have that extra tinge of, is Bianca actually a heel and we just don't know it yet? But regardless, Rhea Ripley ends up standing tall, laying out Io, laying out Bianca, and holding up the championship that she lost just a short while ago to Io. So basically, Io retained, but Rhea is definitely going to be inserted into this match at WrestleMania. It is only a matter of time. And that brings us to the end of Monday Night Raw. But before we go, we have a little segment we like to do in honor of Booker T. It is the Fave 5, and today we are going to do the Fave 5 of Monday Night Raw. If you watch the weekly roundup, you'll know that I do a Fave 5 of the entirety of WWE across the entire week, but today we're just gonna hone in on who I like the best on Raw. And kicking things off with number 5 of the Fave 5, it's Jimmy Uso. Absolutely, how could it not? While Jay was great in that segment, and while Gunther was great in that segment, Jimmy really did a great job at selling just how brutalized he was. And that was the thing that the feud needed. It was the exact thing they needed, and Jimmy executed it to perfection. I really hope whenever Jimmy comes back, I think Jimmy absolutely deserves a title run. Now, I don't think he'd be getting a world championship run, but I would love to see, if Jay picks up the world title, I would love to see Jay versus Jimmy for the world title. I think that'd be an awesome match. No, I don't want it to be like WrestleMania 40, but I think they could have a crazy good match, and I think they deserve a redemption match against one another. At number 4, we have Rhea Ripley, who managed to stand tall above both the women's champion and her challenger on the main event of Monday Night Raw. She had a lot of fun in her match against Io, and I thought she looked like $1,000,000 absolutely destroying everybody. So yeah, Rhea's number 4. At number 3, we have Gunther. How could Gunther not be on the Fave 5 list? Just the level of destruction that he brought to Jimmy Uso right in front of Jay, it was perfect. You couldn't have scripted it better, and he absolutely was unhinged with the way that he was attacking him, rubbing Jimmy's blood all over him, tasting Jimmy's blood, and those are the things that make me think, you know, maybe it's prop blood, but if it's real blood, then Gunther's an even sicker guy, which is awesome. The segment was great. Gunther did so good. So for that, Gunther is absolutely number 3, and that's even without mentioning his great match with Jimmy Uso. Now we're gonna get a little controversial because at number 2 I have John Cena. And while he did excellently in his promo battle with Cody Rhodes, I just think that Cody Rhodes did that tiny much better than John Cena did. Let me tell you why. I've seen some people saying that Cody got the cheap stuff. He got the easy, low-hanging fruit, but so did John Cena. Going after Cody Rhodes for being his chauffeur is a well-known thing in the wrestling community. Like, that's a lot of people know. There have been a lot of stories recently, I think literally from Cody Rhodes, explaining about when he was driving John Cena around. So we know these things exist. So of course that's also low-hanging fruit. Saying you stole the blueprint that I created is also low-hanging fruit for a heel. I'm not trying to say what John Cena did is bad. I'm just saying that if you consider Cody Rhodes' portion of the segment to be low-hanging fruit, I think you also have to apply that same logic to John Cena. Realistically, I think both guys did incredibly. I think it was some of the most gripping television I've watched in a long time, and for that, John Cena earns the number 2 spot. And of course, that means Cody Rhodes is in the number 1 spot. He is my favorite wrestler of Monday Night Raw this week. Oh my gosh. I mean, first of all, the guy, drip it out. The suit, oh my goodness. I will take 10 of those, but I imagine I'll never see that much money in my life. And then the way he was able to hang with Cena on the mic, the way that he actually was able to deliver a crossroads to John Cena, just a single one. We don't need Cody to beat everybody with 3 crossroads. Why does he use a move that sucks if he needs to do it 3 times to win? He should just be able to put a guy out with one of them. We need to just let that be a thing. But yeah, Cody did awesome. He hung with Cena on the mic, and a lot of people weren't expecting him to be able to do that. So for that, I have to say, I was pleasantly surprised by Cody Rhodes, so he is my favorite wrestler of Monday Night Raw. But that is it. That's the end of the video. That's the end of the review. Tell me what you loved from Monday Night Raw. I want to know what you think, because we're all wrestling fans. We all have diverse opinions, and I'd love to hear the different things you loved and the different things you didn't love so much. So leave those in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next wrestling video.